This is the 1999 Lola B98-10, an extraordinary looking machine that was Britain's answer to Ferrari's sensational 333 SP. And that's no hyperbole either. Martin Bourrain, Lola's owner at the time, quite literally briefed designer Pete Weston with the challenge of creating a brand new, cutting-edge sports car that would beat the 333. And you know what? They only went and did it. Making its public debut the day after the 1998 Petit Le Mans, driver James Weaver lapped the Road Atlanta circuit faster than the pole position time set just 2 days prior. Lola sold 8 cars on the spot. The sophisticated design with carbon fibre monocoque, carbon brakes and aerodynamic surfaces designed to create significant downforce was classic Lola, uncomplicated, privateer focused, and most importantly, it was quick. Designed to accommodate a variety of engines, only one team, Jean-Paul Driot's famous Dams racing outfit, opted to fit Judd's sonorous Formula One derived V10.
Starting to get very dark here.
Naturally aspirated and revving to 11,000 RPM, the Judd sung in the back of the French squad's piano black Lola, and in 1999 helped it to 5 pole positions and 4 outright victories in the Sports Racing World Cup. Facing stiffer competition across the pond, the car still proved more than capable of battling works entries from the likes of BMW, Audi and Panoz. Back in Europe, chassis HU8 wore its low-drag bodywork for Le Mans, where again it proved fast, but at that early stage of its development, still too fragile to last 24 hours. Returning to Le Mans for a second time, the Motorola colours were replaced with the French racing blue of comic book hero Michel Vaillant for the car's star turn in the movie version of the famous animation. After nearly 2 decades in hibernation since the end of its competition career, B98-10 chassis HU8 recently enjoyed a complete ground-up restoration with British specialists Moto Historics in readiness for a return to competitive life in historic racing. So, having tried and failed to get a seat with Dams myself all those years ago, you can imagine how thrilled I was to finally get my own chance behind the wheel.
This is such an exciting day for me because this is the car I always really wanted to drive. I was lucky to drive an identical Lola B98 for Kramer Racing back in 2001, but it didn't have the screaming Judd V10 engine, and that was the one we all wanted to drive, so to finally get that chance is a really big deal. That is literally 1 millimeter of movement in my right foot doing this. Complicated car, but it is fast. Ooh. Oh god, I love the heel and toe on the downshift. Feels so good. Oh, I'm gonna need a cup of tea and a biscuit after this. Honestly, it's perfect. It's just lovely. Oh, but you guys are gonna have to come to me, I'm afraid, because I don't want to get out. It's the weirdest thing. I know it's silly. I feel like a kid, but something about this car. It's something special. It fits me like a glove. And we haven't made a seat for me. It's just fitted with the standard carbon shell sort of seat that they sold the cars with, and it's perfect. It just wraps around me beautifully. For once in my life as a tool driver, I'm not bashing my knees or my elbows against the internals of the cockpit. Everything's in reach. The way the steering wheel just almost falls perfectly into your lap. It's kind of wonderfully simple. It's not a complicated car. There's loads of space inside. You don't feel claustrophobic. Obviously, being open roof, you don't have big wide A-pillars that you have in closed roof coupes. The wheel arches, as reasonably large as they are, they don't hog any of your vision. You see everything, you feel everything. There's a simplicity that I really appreciate of cars of this transitional era, so the late 90s into the noughties, and by sort of 2005 onwards they started to become quite complicated with a lot of systems, a lot of electronics, a lot of very advanced aerodynamics. And that's all good. Ultimately it makes the car go faster, I guess, but it does detach the driver from the car. You lose a bit of the feeling of connection with it. Whereas with this, it's just on the precipice of feeling old school and analog and led by mechanical grip rather than aero. But it was advanced enough at its time to generate a lot of aerodynamic downforce, particularly at high speed, which it does do. But you feel the mechanical grip first, which makes you feel incredibly connected to the car. Combined with the fact that it doesn't change gear with flappy paddles behind the steering wheel, which can sometimes have a mind of their own because they want to do different things to what you request at the time. It's all done with an old school lever in your right hand. It's not an H pattern box, it's a sequential box, so you punch and release forward to go down the gears, you pull and release to go up. It's very easy, it's very intuitive, you don't have to think about it, but it's manual enough to necessitate a proper old school heel and toe on the downshift. I do use the clutch, I do use the side of my foot to rev the engine, and with this 4-litre Judd, it just seems, I mean, the way it responds to the blips on downshifts is just, it's music. And it just, you know, if it was a slow car, I almost wouldn't mind, because it's a car that just driving it round and round in circles just makes me feel really, really happy and really, really lucky, to be honest. But the fact that it's quick as well, I mean, we're on the shorter national circuit here. This is our first shakedown test. I don't want to start reading into too much in terms of lap times, so I'm not going to start giving you figures. But let's just say that last session was very, very encouraging, and this car would more than hold its own even against the younger machinery, significantly younger, 15 years younger or more than it might race against if you were to enter it into the Masters Endurance Legends. But in terms of Peter Auto's Endurance Legends series, with its cut-off at 2005, if it were me, this is my car. This is the car I would race. Perfect.